This has been a fabulous year for women filmmakers and also a conversation of women in cinema, you know, at large scale from India. But I just think that we still have a long way to go.
तू तो समझदार है ना? है कि नहीं?
नहीं, दुकान में जाओ यार। आप ऐसे नहीं कर सकते बच्चे। आप छोड़ दो।
सिक्योरिटी
Hi all, it's Silas Ram, AsianCultureVulture.com. It's 2020-25. Happy New Year. We're going to be talking about the live-action short, Anuja, which has just been shortlisted for the Oscars. We're going to be talking to producers Guneet Monga and Suchitra Mattai, and also the writer-director Adam J. Graves. This is a short film about a young girl, of course, centered around Anuja, played by Sajda Pathan. Let's go and find out more.
फिर तेरा क्या होगा?
It's an amazing film. How did it start? Did it start with you, Adam, writing it?
Yeah, well, it started really with research. It was we were looking at writing a coming of age story,
Oh, right.
and so came across a remarkable statistic, which really kind of struck us in the heart, which is that 1 in 10 kids globally is engaged in child labor. And then we thought, well, how many stories do we see about kids, from that space? And then we started researching it. And so, we were reading scholarship on child labor in the garment sector in particular. And then, we wound up getting in touch with nonprofits in and around Delhi. And the story just kind of came out of the research. There were so many narrative possibilities.
Yeah, grounded in the research and ultimately trying to create a human story and to create a story where two young girls have agency, two sisters have agency. They can make their own decisions. And I think that's the beauty of the narrative film.
I loved Anuja. I really deeply connected with the film because for me, it's a very intelligent character. Even though there's life unfolding in front of her, and it's not ideal circumstances, and this is a certain economic group, but just that she's very bright, and then she is able to get through to life. So I am a huge fan of protagonists that are very intelligent on screen and are not damsels. So it's really it's something that really struck with me, the bond between the two sisters.
ये बोर्डिंग स्कूल क्या होता है?
बोर्डिंग स्कूल वो जगह होती है जहाँ सारी स्मार्ट लड़कियाँ पढ़ने जाती हैं।
अगर मुझे स्मार्ट लड़की ना बनना हो तो?
अब उसको तो तू बदल नहीं सकती ना।
I think I have to talk to you about Anuja herself.
I think she actually had more set experience than me, to be honest. So two things about Sajda that are really remarkable. First, about less than a year before we shot the film, she was living on the streets, begging outside of the Hanuman temple with her older sister. So she was living alone on the streets with her older sister. So in some really remarkable way, her story parallels that of Anuja. And that, I think that really had a strong
authenticity to it.
Yeah, it lent a lot of authenticity because she immediately connected with Ananya, the girl who plays her older sister, and that relationship just felt so real because of that background. But I can't take credit for discovering Sajda. She encountered a social worker from Salaam Balak Trust who invited her into they have these centers around Old Delhi where they invite kids in to play games, and they don't have, there's so many kids coming into Delhi every day who, with nothing but the shirt on their back, approximately 100 every day. They can't give a bed to every child. So what they try to provide a context where they can give them informal education, informal support. And if the kid really gravitates towards it, eventually they try to find them a place to stay. And they did that with Sajda. And that happened right around the same time another film was casting. So the interesting thing is that the person who teaches theater at their home, Pankaj Gupta, who is a collaborator on the film, he was working as a casting director for another film, a French production called The Braid. And he said, this girl has some natural, there's like an energy here. There's like a spirit.
When you were like directing her and stuff, was she just natural, or did you spend a lot of time coaching and getting her prep before you put her right in front of the camera?
We tried to create environments where she could kind of, improvise. That poses, I've edited, my first film, and I knew just from that very limited experience that when you're in post and you're dealing with improvised performances, you run into a lot of problems, especially when you're shooting with a single camera, right? So you've got to edit between different takes, and if every take is blocked differently, it becomes a huge nightmare. So I had to keep that in mind while we were, kind of structuring.
You wouldn't guess that from looking at it, because it looks very, a very accomplished film.
Well, it's all credit to her because she just brought so much and gave us so much to play with, so much to work with in terms of brilliant performance. It was hard to choose between takes because every take she was just giving us something so incredible. And by the way, I want to say that Ananya Shanbhag, the girl who plays Palak, the older sister, same
She's
thing.
fantastic. Yeah, we felt the same.
Is she from a similar background, or she's not she's like somebody you look for in
she was found actually, so she had never acted before.
Right.
She's a bharatanatyam dancer, and Romil Modi, who's a really well-known casting director in Mumbai. I'm curious if Guneet knows Romil. He cast other films that have gotten a lot of press this year, like All We Imagine Is Light, and Lost Ladies. I say Lost Ladies because in here in the US, So, I was put in touch with him through a friend, and he was at a Bharatanatyam performance and just saw something on Ananya's face, like this. She's just so expressive, and it's true. I mean, it's funny. We watched so many hours of footage. We just fell in love with these girls.
Congratulations on being into that the list of the live action short for the Oscar. How does that feel?
It feels surreal. It feels surreal, and it feels very special to be on board with first-time directors, first-time director, producer, Suchitra, Adam. I feel actually very honored to be on this journey with also Mindy, who's an incredible producer with me on this.
Kaling, yeah.
So there's a lot of purity in first-time storytelling, and that will never be repeated. There is a lot of innocence and love, it's handmade, everything, so that you can touch it, feel it, smell it. So it's always so special. It's surreal and it's beautiful.
And Adam,
And
Suchitra,
it's lovely.
yeah.
Lovely.
How does it feel? I mean, it's your first film. It's amazing.
This has all been kind of film school for me. I don't come from a film school background. I'd never been on a set before I started shooting, just
Yeah.
You are obsessed with the history of film.
Yeah, I teach film and philosophy and things like that. So I watch film obsessively, but how the sausage is made, I never do. So we're pinching ourselves.
Is there a plan to make this a feature, or what's your step beyond Anuja?
Yeah, there is. It's not just an expansion of Anuja's story, but it's couching a story of a character similar to Anuja within a broader kind of a film, kind of almost an international thriller that follows three different plot lines.
Do you think that you need to capitalize on this attention that is being, women directors now coming through? Do you think you on the ground in Mumbai, Guneet, are getting a sense that women are finally getting heard, listened to when they come with film projects?
We live in an echo chamber, like my company, and maybe 5-10 of us. We live in an echo chamber where there are more women in our office. There are women filmmakers, but the data is against it. Less than 4% women are directors. So when that data happened, it really shifted something even for me, like how do we double down on that? So I'm in midst of setting up Women in Film in India, which I have actually never formally spoken about as yet. And we're building programs to be able to expand that. It's definitely something that is a very large conversation, and films like Girl Will Be Girls or Pile's work with All We Imagine Is Light definitely helps, or even Kiran's Laaptaa Ladies. This has been a fabulous year for women filmmakers, and also a conversation of women in cinema, at large scale from India. But I just think that we still have a long way to go.
And Suchitra, how did it feel? I take it you're based in America, in LA, and from that side also, women getting how did you get Mindy Kaling? What was that? How did that happen?
Actually, Mindy had reached out about my art. And so then when we had, when I was being a good producer, I reached out to her about the film, and she took a look and fell in love. And yeah, I think in America it's difficult. I feel like we're learning that there is support, especially in the South Asian community, for women in film. But across the board, just like Guneet is saying with the statistics, it's very small, right? Across the arts. And so it's kind of it's an honor to be able to participate and hopefully, help other people and build community.
But thank you so much for your time. It was wonderful.
Happy New
Thank
Year.
you. Happy New
Thank
Year.
you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Really appreciate it.
Take
Very
care.
nice.